I told you that she was teaching middle schoolers, and her reaction was middle schoolers having kids in the country.
I'll just double check and just.
And they were respectful to her. But anyway, she had a wonderful pair of shoes that she just tennis shoes, you know.
Here to, I know we put it in the newsletter. I don't know if you look at, if you view the newsletter electronically.
And I remember what you said. I didn't take the other shoes. I took the older ones. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
With the link to it.
Yeah.
Yes, to the meeting, but the link to the meeting is long. You'd have to be typing in, it's easier if you click on
The
it.
outreach committee,
It should all be on there, yes.
The outreach committee, should do a class on Zoom, on Zooming, on how to Zoom.
And the passcode, but you need to be able to make sure that you're accessing the correct link as well. If you're using a link, are you just going directly to Zoom?
So people can bring
And
their
then putting in the information, it's not letting you in?
down here, Dusty can help us.
What's going on? Well, I'll try to do it that way.
Well, Bill can come.
I don't think that's
Right,
right.
then you should be able to get.
It's a great idea.
I didn't say it was.
So what happens on this meeting here?
Yeah, so that is the one
I
I
don't know.
Yeah, and I've tried the different investigators, but I want those back in the office, I give them those back. Because I've tried the different changes, and they never.
Every now and then.
Some stuff.
But I'd like to look at.
Yeah. You can see that when you're at home.
Well, you can, you should.
You can.
Yeah, but- Yeah, so,
But it eats up part of the screen.
yeah, and but you can't do that, you know, so, I mean, she doesn't know how to do it, so I don't think she's the right instructor. Just watching a lot, just to be.
My other one complaining is when Dusty does her talking, I can't, when I sit over there, I can't, whoops, there went an earring. God got me back to complaining.
Can't hear
Why
her.
would I really do that?
I was wrong.
Jesus. Jesus, woman.
Okay, well, never mind.
I think
I'll just
one
mention.
another, I'm not talking to him about it. You know, I did say something about.
I got all keys for the earring, that's the important thing I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right here from ILS.
She had him with her and says something. She's gonna summarize them this way. It was really.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending. This is a business meeting open to members of the Nepenthe Association and guests of the board. Nepenthe board is a board of directors, is a policy board, and the role of the general manager is to observe the day-to-day operations. The primary purpose of the meeting is to ensure that association is meeting its responsibility to provide oversight, maintain the value of the property, and to serve homeowners. My name is Marcus Dasher. I'm the current board president.
I'm Cheryl Nelson and I'm the vice president.
Jackie Gravitas, secretary.
Christina George, member at large.
Bill Henley, treasurer.
Thank you. A message from the president. The last couple of weeks have been very busy with the budget or working on the budget. And I would like to recognize a couple of people here. First of all, Bill Henley on taking on the lead on that, countless hours, 2:36 a.m. in the morning, writing emails and all that. So thank you, Bill. I would like to thank all the other directors for the support that you guys gave Bill, and also the finance committee supporting Bill with the information, and of course First Service as well. So thank you, everybody. So the board had the executive session this afternoon. We had, this is from September 6th executive session, what I'm reading right now. The contract proposal were approved as follows. Proposal in the amount of $64,912 from Bailey Boys Services for gutter cleaning service of all our homes. Then proposal in the amount of $615 for Carson Landscape for improvement in Zone 2. Proposal in the amount of $765 for Carson, improvements in Zone 4. And then proposal in the amount of $56,170 to Grove Tree Care for tree work. Do we have Will here for an update?
I'm here. I presume that everybody on the board has the same document I have. The analysis of the phase one analysis. So, are you hearing me?
Now we can, yes.
Okay. I assume that everybody on the board has read this phase one analysis of the siding project. 92 units completed, 81 build. We're running over 100% over estimated costs. And also presumably everybody from last month has the projections on the impact of the siding changeover on the siding replacement. But it's my understanding that we don't have the final reserve study yet, so we don't know what the impact of any of this is on reserve contributions.
Okay, thank you, Will. Dusty, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Well, just to add to that, because a lot of people are asking, okay, you know, those are the numbers, but where are they working currently? So as Will said, we are about 47% completed with the project. CPR contractors have paused work in phase one to complete repairs at 1149 through 1179 Vanderbilt and 208 and 210 Elmhurst before the rain sets in for priority work that they had to jump to get it done. They'll resume phase one in mid-November and pick up where they left off. Phase one work is completed up to 1423 Commons Drive, and paint is completed up to 1101 Dunbarton. And I'll be putting this newsletter as a reoccurring column in the newsletter, so everybody knows what their path of travel is, where they're going to be, what's the next round of homes, so that homeowners can have the capability to kind of track where they're going, what they're doing, what they've completed. So if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. As far as the for landscape, remediation at the 17 sites is done. So it's all completed. I think it looks really nice. And moving on to other things.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I have one more update. Sorry, big update. Also, we have a new employee that started on Monday, October 2nd. Her name is Juliana Michael. She goes by Jay. So we're very excited to have her here up at the front desk.
Great, thank you. Well, I guess that was the general manager's report.
Yes.
Very good. Committee updates. Alan Waters, ARC.
Good evening. Is this working? You can hear me if I speak like this. Yes, I'm Alan Waters, Chair of the Architectural Review Committee. I don't have any new information or remarks for the board other than what is in the minutes for this month. Do members of the board have questions for me?
I guess not.
I'd like to
Thank you.
thank the board for working hard and working with the committee. We've had a number of unusual requests involving fences and modifying fences in last couple of months, and that was unusual. Appreciate that. And not committee business, but personal thanks. I want to thank the association and the management for allowing the siding work to occur in my home being one of the ones damaged in last winter's storm. And it was very helpful to get the dry rotted siding and some of the stuff out of the way so the new windows could go in and the rest of it. Critical Path has been extremely helpful. Mike has been extremely helpful on all of this, going so far as to leave the siding, one panel of siding off around a patio window so that the new installation could go in for the slider. He's really been great. He even helped me with a side door to the garage, which was not his job. It was another contractor who hadn't done the best job. I'm very grateful for his help as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Marcy Best Outreach Committee.
And it's not that important or exciting. Nothing changed as far as our minutes go of our meeting. We had a really outstanding September, lots of events, lots of participation, and thank everyone for joining us and having fun. October is our Halloween month, and this is our biggest event of the year. So I have actually put a request for help in the coming newsletter, as well as the details of the event. So if you feel ambitious or creative, or just want to have fun, come and join us on the 28th, starting at 3 p.m. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Marcy. Finance Committee, Susan Timmer.
Hi all, Susan Timmer, Finance Committee Chair. I also do not have anything to add to the minutes, but am willing to answer any questions that the board might have.
Anybody have any questions? All right, no questions. Thank you very much, Susan. I don't see anybody from the Grounds Committee here. Let's go.
Jim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jim Shaw is here.
Hi, my name is Jim Shaw. I'm the junior co-chair for the Grounds. And first of all, apologies to the board. There was some confusion on how we create minutes, and that falls on me. That's my bad. But very, very briefly, I can offer some comments. Certainly our minutes were approved from our previous meeting. There were homeowner comments. A couple of them that would have note. Bill White at 718 Elmhurst requested to revisit maybe the upscaling or the upsizing of his tree that has replaced a catastrophic loss due to the great storm. And let's see here. He'd asked the committee if we would reconsider sending a request to the board for its reconsideration. Karen Lowry on Elmhurst suggested a revisit to the vision statement for grounds. And Linda Cook noted that that is a fairly current event that had occurred a couple of years ago. Amy Nichols on Adelphi, who has been commenting several meetings about the lack of visual privacy due to the removal of junipers, asked if she could be heard and offer comments. And Pam Livingston, our senior chair, said that we would chat about it, but that would be about it. And thanked her. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I too tall for this thing? How about that? Can you hear me now?
Take it out of its holder. Yeah, you can take.
Okay, that's on you. I think the most important thing that occurred was that we received from the reports from Carson regarding their work on landscape and the scheduling of zones walks for 3, 4, and 7. And some maintenance comments about watering and how you treat reseeding even in hot summer months. The major item was the review of Paul's, our arborist's report for Zone 6 on trees and remediation, and the accompanying proposal, which we did pass or favorably recommended to the board for positive action. Told you I shouldn't touch it. At the close, in the second homeowner's comments, Mr. White asked if we could consider, again, discussing the remediation efforts in terms of his ability to upgrade his tree. And there were a couple of comments here that I think are appropriate. First of all, it was made, the comment was made by a number of folks on the committee, and very legitimately so, that a request for an upgrade by a homeowner really might fall into an area where they're trying to buy plants and enhance. And that is not consistent with our homeowner regulations. The alternative view might be one that those normal operating rules really don't apply to the occurrence of a once-in-a-lifetime event like this catastrophic storm that swept through our facilities. And that as such, maybe the normal day-to-day operation regulations might have some flex or could even be set aside. And a brief mention that it appeared that that had been the empathetic and sympathetic response by the board to work with Carson in regards to the remediation issues and homeowner input on Vandenberg Circle. And that Bill had said, you know, same storm, same issues, much smaller request. And so we actually took a vote and we were split 5-5 with one extension. And so there really wasn't anything to take up to the board, but I think it's worth conversation. And with that note, we adjourned.
All right, thank you, Jim. All right, we're coming to the first homeowner forum.
Thanks, Steve. Terrible.
No, that's
Oh.
okay.
I'm sorry, ILS. I keep forgetting Nancy, my gosh. You're so quiet, I forget about you.
There, I tried to adjust it for you.
Jerry's going to be most of our report, and I apologize that you didn't receive the minutes. Jerry's our insurance rep, as well as he's our insurance, our recording secretary. But he got married and thought he should be able to go on a honeymoon instead, but he got sick anyway. So you can read the minutes. I don't even want to take the time to go over all of them. There's nothing profound unless you have a question.
We just got a copy of it, so that's.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think there's anything, we're still looking into security. And there was some comments about things that could go in the newsletter. It's nothing, because I want Jerry to have time to talk to you about insurance. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jerry Dunn. I'm also on the IOS committee. I'm not really going to go into a lot of things. I did submit for the board a history of our insurance. It's for information purposes only, just to show what our costs have been for both the property and liability insurance and the flood insurance. I think it'll help you when people start asking you why, if we have to increase some dues because of that. But our insurance doubled. I thought it might go up 25% because of the storms that we had, but our insurance actually doubled for the property and liability insurance for this year. And the reason for that mostly is because of the storm that we had in October. We had about $922,000 in damages. And what we were paying before in insurance was about 122,000 a year. So they lost their shorts last year and they're trying to pick it up pretty fast. So basically our insurance doubled, mostly because of that, and also because of the crisis of insurance in California. We did go to other carriers as a committee to see what else might be available. And everybody said, well, if you're with farmers, we can't compete. And so about 3 markets also that we just can't compete with farmers. So unfortunately, the good and bad news is farmers is the only market that we had available to us. I'd like to say one other thing, that working with Dusty has been fabulous from our standpoint, especially when you're trying to get insurance information and working together. And I just want to say thanks to Dusty for all the stuff that she does. I know she doesn't get credit for that kind of stuff, but it makes our job easier.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's really it. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, well,
Oh, no. Oh, we can't do questions during
Oh.
this.
we
right?
can't do questions.
That doesn't apply to associations for us in here. No, and it wouldn't be good. I'll tell you more about it afterwards.
Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, well.
All right, now we're coming to the first homeowner forum. Anybody in the room? Ricardo? If you could keep it between 3 and 5 minutes would be
Yeah, it
great.
should
Thank
be-
you.
It should be fine. I'll speak at the second one too on simpler issues. So my name is Ricardo Pineda, 1013 Dunbarton Circle. I'm a retired civil engineer specializing in river hydraulics, levees, and dams with the California Department of Water Resources. I still work part-time for state DWR. Part of my work is to look at federal new legislation related to water, rulemaking, and I also look at things at the state. So I came across a couple weeks ago, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, a bill called Assembly Bill 1572. I sent a link to the HOA email, and I think I dropped a hard copy of the bill language to the front desk to give to President Marcus. Simply, so this is a California bill. It was passed by the state assembly and the state senate on September 20th. So that means in legislative language, it's been enrolled and dropped off at the governor's desk. And according to, I'm not a legislative expert, but according to what I read, if a bill sits on the governor's desk for 12 days, I don't know if it's calendar days or business days, without him signing it, it automatically becomes law. So we're essentially past the 12-day calendar day, so it maybe is law. I expect that it will become law. So what does the title of this bill? Potable water and non-functional turf. And why am I up here talking for a few minutes? Essentially, bottom line is by 2029, this bill, which will become law, and then the things that come out of the bill get written in the government code, will ban the use of potable water. That means water for drinking that's been treated. That's the water we get here in the Penty. We don't have a separate water system. You cannot use that water for watering non-functional turf. So that means turf that's not used for recreation or some other designated use. So who does it apply to? It applies to government buildings or government properties, commercial, industrial, and HOAs. The bill is very easy to read. You just Google AB 1572 and read the bill or read all the articles about it. So it applies to HOA and similar communities. That language is in there. For HOAs, the implementation date is 2029. So theoretically, if this becomes law, we will not be able to water our grass with the Sacramento City drinking water because we're not on a separate non-potable supply beginning in 2029. And compliance, you have to have written compliance submitted to, I guess it would be the city of Sacramento in 2031. Who is exempt from this bill? And this kind of comes to the crux of my concern: private residences and apartment complexes, and there may be others. So I don't drive because of the failing eyesight. And so when I ride on University between my place on Dunbarton and American River Drive, one side I'm looking to the left at East Ranch, their grass will have to go. And I look to the right of all those homes, their grass can stay. And our grass will have to go according to the bill.
So I kind of find, I'm not an attorney, but I've worked with in right-of-way legal issues and utility legal issues for a long time with my projects. And I kind of find this bill arbitrary and capricious because some people can keep their grass and other people can't keep their grass unless you switch to a different source of water. Golf courses in desert areas that use potable water, they can keep their grass because it's a recreational grass. Some people consider that it's a potential taking under the Fifth Amendment, where the government takes a right without compensation. So what bothers me is not so much the fundamental concept that watering non-functional turf with potable water should be the new state policy, which the bill states. It's all the people who get to keep their thing. So it's not kind of an even thing. So I'm sure the apartment owners lobbied very hard. I did look up online if there was an association of homeowners associations in California, and there is. I'm not sure if Nepenthe is a member of that, but many of the role of associations where I've been regional or whatever, the president or executive, whatever, president of the board of a national organization, one of their jobs is to go lobby state and federal agencies about bills. So I don't know if the HOA Association in California lobbied about this bill, but again, apartment complexes got a pass. So I think this is kind of a really big thing. 2029 is 6 years down the road, or maybe 5.5 years down the road, since we're almost at the end of the year. But it's a pretty major shift. And I think it's, like I said, in theory, they're saying that it's state policy. This bill says the state policy that we shouldn't be watering non-functional turf with potable water, and that it's contrary to the health of the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta, which provides drinking water for 27 million people. I've been involved a lot with the Delta in my career. To me, it's kind of a Southern California bill that suddenly affects everybody. So that's what I had to say. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if anybody wants to read about it, you can just Google AB 1572 and you'll pretty easy to read. But to me, it has very, very big implications that we need to think of what our strategy will be, whether legal action or just plan on getting rid of the grass to something else.
Well, thank you very much, Ricardo. Anybody in the room? Bill?
I'm sure you guys are all sick of hearing from me. Bill White at 718 Elmhurst. I just wanted to say two things. I did go to the grounds committee meeting the other day, and I want to thank them for letting me come and speak. And they voted, which it turned out they didn't need to or shouldn't have, which Jim said was 5-5. Technically, it was really 4-6 because one of the members who voted not to support my request voted no because he didn't think I should have to pay for the tree. He thinks that the association should pay to put the bigger tree in, and I don't care, I'll pay. But anyway, so it really was 6-4. The other thing is, I can't believe how many owners here have come up to me since this has been going on and telling me how crazy this is, that this is just a simple request to just put a tree that's a year or two older than the tree that's been planted by Carson in the same spot, the same tree, and just be done with it. And everybody on our alley, one of them is here, right here, we all appreciate and would enjoy a bigger tree, maybe get a little bigger before we all drop dead. And anyway, anyhow, it's crazy to me that this has been going on like it has. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody on Zoom? Nobody on Zoom? All right, let's move on. Homeowner correspondence. Did all the directors have a chance to read that? Any questions on the homeowner correspondence? No? Okay. Consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I think we need to take out, I have take out for the minutes since I wasn't here, so that'll be an abstention for me.
Okay.
Right, so
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
I second.
Okay. I approve it too.
Aye.
Then now we have unfinished business, homeowner comments and correspondence follow-up. Any comments on the board?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl, for putting this together every month. It's greatly appreciated. We have no new business. And now we are coming to the second homeowner forum. Anybody in the room? Ricardo again? Another bill?
I won't talk about, no, not another bill. No, I won't talk about water. I will talk about, I call on my wife is over here, the Tootsie Pop lights rather than the lollipop lights, because it's, it's a sphere, not a circle. Anyways, in the middle of the day around Dunbarton, sometimes I just cruise around on my bike and I see all these lights on. So to me, it's a waste of energy, even though we're using LED lights, but we need to be concerned about our carbon footprint. We don't know where our power comes from SMUD. They've got some external contracts, probably some natural gas plants. So whatever it takes to get those lights to not be on during the day. I don't know if changing the photo cell. I mean, we have a maintenance person, so I think that should be addressed. It just seems very strange to see that. And the other comment I'd like to make, it'd be great, maybe I missed it, but it'd be great to have a bike rack in the pool deck area. I asked the last administration, and they said, well, there's a bike rack in front, but when you're swimming at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, it makes zero sense to lock your bike in front rather than having a bike rack there in the back. And I don't see any negative reason to not consider having a bike rack in the pool deck area. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
By the pool, inside the fence? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Last chance. Okay.
I'm learning. I'm coming to you with a different hat. I'm coming to you as a homeowner at 608 Elmhurst. We're one alley over from Bill White. And I would just like to lay out a thesis or very briefly an explanation as to why there appears to be some real question about how to recover from a catastrophic event. First thing I'd like to do is say, I want to thank the board. I think they were entirely appropriate in their empathetic action to work with homeowners on the modification of the original rehab for Vanderbilt. The contractor was doing what they were supposed to do. It just didn't fit the taste, the environment. The board saw that and worked with everyone to come to an equitable solution. Kudos, I really mean that. The second thing is that what we experienced in October was a once in a lifetime event. It won't happen again for 83 years. I'm not going to be here to worry about it, but that's the significance of this thing. And it's already started in the Pacific Northwest this season. They've already had their first atmospheric river. So what I'm suggesting is, with a catastrophic loss that this homeowners association experienced, that the normal rules that apply to and absolutely appropriate apply to the vanity, I'd rather have a petunia rather than a rose or whatever it is, and I'll pay for it. That common sense rule from the board or reg from the board should stand. But in light of a catastrophic event that occurs once in a century, if you will, the board demonstrated flexibility to deal with the issues. They came back and worked with everyone. Now, the response that came back and the board's response to correspondence this trip out to Mr. White was, at this time, the board is not planning to make adjustments to current rules and regs pertaining to common areas. That rule should stand. But I think we find that with the Vanderbilt experience, there was a recognition that this was a once in a lifetime catastrophic event. Bill's situation is a response to that same event. The same event. If that tree that they lost had moved probably about 10 degrees to the east, it would have taken out their second floor and probably could have killed them if they were in that bedroom. I mean, it's just, you know, everybody's had an issue. But the point is, they're trying to recover, their alley mates are trying to recover from that same issue, but with a much more modest request. Our arborist chose a tree that would grow and prosper there forever. And the idea of maybe boosting it along in the life cycle, a couple of years to deliver shade and beauty to that alleyway a couple of years earlier, seems to be a reasonable request in response to extraordinary circumstances. And I would just ask the board, I'm not sure of the mechanisms, I'm not sure of the protocol, but I would ask the board, we have a precedent over here that's a one-time only and result to catastrophic events. Hopefully the more modest requests from the Whites could be seen in that same vein. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Jim. Anybody else? Anybody else on Zoom? Okay, nobody? All right. Next board meeting will be November 1st at 6 p.m., same place. And with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, Robert.
Actually, you were talking earlier about the siding request.
Yes.
Do we know when phase 2 will begin?
So phase 1 is anticipated to wrap up in March.